Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Podcast. Today is Friday, June 21st, 2019. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's NBA draft, go through the picks, tell you which ones I liked, which ones I didn't like, and grade all the first round picks. Go over yesterday's baseball games, look ahead to today's games, World Cup, pick this weekend's group games, the round of 16, College World Series, pick this weekend's games, my last NHL mock draft, and my best bet of the day. All right, we're going to start in baseball, actually, because there's actually games that are going to be underway sooner rather than later. Then I'll get to the NBA draft and the NHL draft. So we're going to start yesterday's games, then look ahead to tonight's games, and there's already one that is final. So we'll get to that sooner rather than later. All right. The Rangers defeat the Indians by a score of 4-2. The Rangers improve to 40-35. Cleveland drops to 39-35. Rockies over to Diamondbacks 6-4 in 10 innings. Rockies improve to 40-34. Arizona drops to 500 at 38-38. Yanks over the Astros 10-6. That's a big win for the Yankees. 47-27 on the year. Houston's 48-28. Nats over the Phillies 7-4. Nats are playing a little better. They are now 36-38. Philly drops to 39-35. Blue Jays over the Angels 5-7 in 10 innings. Toronto improves to 27-48. Angels drop to 500 at 38-38. Marlins over the Cardinals 7-6 in 11 innings. This game ended very funky. Jack Flaherty was out as a pinch runner, and then he gets picked off at second base to end the game. Marlins go to 27-46. St. Louis drops to 38-36. Reds over the Brewers 7-1. The Reds go to 35-38. Milwaukee drops to 40-35. Cubs over the Mets 7-4. Chicago improves to 41-33. Mets drop to 35-40. Royals over the Twins 4-1. The Royals are 26-49. Minnesota's 48-26. Athletics over the Rays 5-4 on a walk-off homer by Matt Chapman. Oakland's 40-36. Tampa's 43-32. Dodgers over the Giants 9-8. Madison Bumgarner was really bad in this game. Freaked a lot of people out on Twitter last night. I feel like he's only had 2 bad starts all year, one against the Yanks, then last night, obviously. He's 31-42. Dodgers improved to 51-25. Mariners over the Orioles 5-2. Seattle is 33-46. Orioles are 21-54. The Mets defeat the Cubs 5-4 as the Mets improve to 36-40. Chicago drops to 41-34. Starting for this game for the Mets was Jason Vargas, 4 2/3 innings, 4 2 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, rate 3.75. And then Yu Darvish went for the Cubs, 6 innings, 4 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, rate 4.75. The rest of tonight's games, Astros, Yankees, that's a big series, as I mentioned yesterday. Brad Peacock against James Paxton. Braves, Nationals. Dallas Keuchel making his Braves debut against Steven Strasburg. Marlins, Phillies. Sandy Alcantara and Aaron Nola. Padres, Pirates, Eric Lauer and Joe Musgrove. Tigers, Indians, Matt Boyd and Trevor Bauer. Bauer has to get on a good run here to improve his trade value. Blue Jays, Red Sox, Trent Thornton and Chris Sale. Angels, Cardinals at 8 o'clock. Albert Pujols is returned to St. Louis. Griffin Canning and Michael Wacha. White Sox, Rangers, Reynaldo Lopez and Ariel Gerardo. Reds, Brewers, Sonny Gray and Chase Anderson. Twins, Royals at 8:15. Martin Perez against Jacob Junis. 9:40, Giants, Diamondbacks, Jeff Samardzija and Taylor Clark. Rays, Athletics at 10 o'clock. Andrew Kitteridge as the opener against, for Oakland, you have Tanner Anderson. And I guess he'll be an opener too. Rockies, Dodgers, Herman Marquez and Walker Buehler. Buehler's been on a roll lately. And in Orioles-Mariners, you have Sean Gilmartin making his Orioles debut against Mike Leake. All right, World Cup. Tomorrow, Germany and Nigeria, 11:30 Fox Sports 1. I'm going to take Germany here to win in advance. 3 o'clock on Fox, Norway and Australia. That's a tough one for me. I'm going to take Australia. I don't feel good about it. Sunday, England and Cameroon. Cameroon's been a big surprise to me, but I'm going to take England. 3 o'clock on Fox on Sunday, France and Brazil. That's going to be a great game. I'm going to take France, and then we'll pick Monday's games on Monday's podcast. You have Spain and the United States and Sweden and Canada on Monday. College World Series going on right now. Texas Tech and Michigan. Michigan's up big over Texas Tech, 14-3, and I had Michigan winning that game. And in Vanderbilt and Louisville, 7 o'clock ESPN tonight. Give me Vanderbilt. They're the better team, and I just think that they're going to win this tournament. I've been saying over and over on the podcast. Now we'll get to the NBA draft. I'm going to go over all the first round picks from last night and give out grades. And I will go over the second round picks as well and which ones I liked and which ones I did not like. Obviously, Zion Williamson went first to New Orleans. No-brainer. That's an A-plus pick. 2 was Ja Morant to the Grizzlies. That's also an A-plus pick. New York Knicks, R.J. Barrett at 3. That's obviously an A pick as well. DeAndre Hunter goes 4. Lakers traded to the pick to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis, and the Pelicans move down as Atlanta trades up for DeAndre Hunter. I give that pick an A- for Atlanta. 5, Darius Garland goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm going to give that pick an A as well, because they went with the best player available in their mind, and I thought that was a nice fit. Use Darius Garland as a shooter, and you have Colin Sexton off the ball. I really like that fit a lot. Minnesota trades up to 6 to take Jarrett Culver. I think that was pretty ballsy of them, but I'm going to give them an A-. Chicago takes Kobe White at 7. I'm giving that pick an A. The Pelicans get the number 8 pick in the package for number 4 and take Jackson Hayes. I don't love this pick at all, so I'm going to give this pick a C. Washington takes Rui Hachimura. A lot of people don't like this pick, but I think that they made the right choice. So I'm going to say that pick will be a B+. Atlanta takes Cam Reddish at 10. I'm giving that pick an A-. Phoenix trades down. Minnesota takes Cameron Johnson, 11. Whoa. I'm giving that a D. There were better players on the board. Charlotte takes P.J. Washington at 12. I'm going to give that a B. Tyler Herro goes 13 to Miami. I like Tyler Herro a lot. I give that pick a B+. Romeo Langford goes 14 to Indiana. Boston. And they obviously have this pick, and they didn't trade it. I give this pick, let's say, a B-. I thought that they had better options there. Sekou Doumbouya falls all the way to the Pistons at 15. That's an A- for me. I'm not the biggest Doumbouya fan, but I just thought he'd go higher. This is the worst pick so far the first round. Chuma Okeke as the torn ACL. Orlando takes him. I'm giving that an F. That was a horrible pick. There are better players on the board. Plus, he didn't have a need at that position. Nickeil Alexander-Walker goes 17 to New Orleans. I'm going to give that pick an A-. I think that is a solid choice. Goga Bitadze goes 18 to Indiana. I think that's an interesting choice. I'd say that's a B-. Lucas Simonik goes 19 to San Antonio. I'm giving that a C- because I thought they reached there. They should have taken him at 29 if he was there, but you never know. Matisse Thybulle goes 20. This pick is obviously not Philadelphia's. crazy trade. This was the Clippers pick, and then it was dealt to Memphis, and then Boston had it, and then traded it to Philly last night. I'm going to give this pick a B- for Philly. It was a pick, obviously, out of possible need, but I just thought there were better options on the board. Memphis trades for the 21st pick and takes Brandon Clark. I give that an A+. They get a lottery player at 21. That was really good. Grant Williams goes 22 to Boston. I like this pick more than most. I'm going to give it a B, though. Darius Baisley goes 23 to Utah. Memphis. Memphis got that pick from Mike Conley. I'm not a huge fan of the pick. I'm going to say that's a D. Ty Jerome goes to Boston in that trade with Philly with the 24th pick and the 20th pick. I'm giving that pick an A-. Boston obviously needs point guards. Portland takes Nasir Little at 25. I'm giving that an A. They get a lottery player that falls to them. Dylan Windler gets picked by Cleveland. I'm going to give that pick a B-. This guy can shoot. Mfiondu Kabengele goes 27 as the Nets trade the pick to the Clippers. Good fit. Give that a B+. Jordan Poole goes 28 to the Warriors. I didn't think Poole would be a first-round pick. I'm going to give that a C+. I like Poole. He's a guy who can shoot. Keldon Johnson goes 29 to San Antonio. I'm not a huge Keldon Johnson fan. I just think the right team picked him in this scenario, so I'm going to give it a B+. 30, Kevin Porter Jr. as the Cavs trade up and trade a bunch of second-round picks. I'm going to give that an A. A good risk by the Cavs. The rest of the picks, Brooklyn takes Nicholas Claxton at 31. KZ Okpala goes 32 to Miami. Carson Edwards goes 33 to, it looks like, Boston. Bruno Fernando goes 34 to Atlanta. 35 was Marcos Luzada Silva. He goes to New Orleans in that trade that Atlanta moved up in. Cody Martin goes to Charlotte. Not a bad pick. Davidas Servidis from Lithuania goes to the Pistons. Daniel Gafford gets drafted by the Bulls. I like that pick. Alan Smogalik gets picked by the Warriors. I don't love that pick. Justin James gets drafted to the Kings. Eric Pascal gets drafted to Golden State. I like that pick a lot. Admiral Schofield gets drafted by the Wizards. Don't mind that pick for them. Jalen Noel, the wing from Washington, gets drafted by the Timberwolves. Solid pick. Bull falls all the way to 44. Drafted by the Heat, traded to the Nuggets. I think that was the best second-round pick and a good risk by Tim Connolly in Denver. Isaiah Roby from Nebraska goes 45 to Dallas. Talen Horton-Tucker goes 46. This pick was traded to the Lakers, so the Lakers get themselves a first-round talent in the second round. Ignas Brazdeikis gets drafted by the Kings, then gets traded to the Knicks. Not a bad selection, but I wouldn't have done that trade if I was New York, because I'll get to who New York took for Sacramento at 55. Terrence Mann gets drafted by the Clippers. Quinndary Weatherspoon gets drafted by the Spurs. Jarrell Brantley to Utah. Tremont Waters to Boston. So Boston picked 3 point guards. Jalen McDaniels gets drafted by Charlotte. Justin Wright Foreman gets drafted by the Jazz. Mario Shayok gets drafted by the Sixers. Kyle Guy gets drafted by the Knicks but gets traded to Sacramento. I had Kyle Guy higher on my board than Ignas Brazdeikis, but you never know how all this will pan out with the two players. Jalen Hands gets drafted by the Clippers, then traded to the Nets. Jordan Bone gets drafted by the Pelicans. Mia Ioane gets drafted by the Warriors, but gets traded to Utah. I think Ioane could be somebody that could be a surprise player. DeJuan Hernandez gets drafted by the Raptors. And Vanja Marinovic gets drafted from Sacramento at 60. And then there's a lot of undrafted guys that I think will have impacts, like Taco Fall. And that's the one that stands out to me. A couple guys from UCLA went undrafted. Chris Wilkes among them. Lewis King of Oregon went undrafted. He'll have an impact wherever he ends up. So the Summer League's going to be fun, and I'll obviously be covering it on the podcast. Now I'm going to do my final NHL mock draft, as the draft's about 2 hours away. Without further ado, here we go. 1, New Jersey Devils, Jack Hughes, center, U.S. National Development Team. Hughes is somebody people have been talking about since last year in terms of young, up-and-coming draft prospects. He's going to come in and have an immediate impact on a team that needs young assets to go with Taylor Hall, number 1 overall pick from a few years ago, Nico Hischier. 2, New York Rangers, Kaapo Kakko, right wing, Lehigh, TPS. The Rangers have to be thrilled for making this big of a jump into the lottery. Kakko is somebody that will jumpstart this rebuild, as he broke a ton of scoring records in Lehigh. He will also make an immediate impact and would be yet another prospect to add to a suddenly loaded prospect group featuring Vitaly Kravtsov and Keandre Miller. 3, Chicago Blackhawks, Alex Turcotte, center, USNDT. Turcotte is somebody that is a very dynamic two-way center. That stock is rising. He played in the Under-18 World Championship and absolutely thrived to the point where he's the consensus choice to go here, and he's drawn comparisons to Jonathan Taves. 4, Colorado Avalanche from the Ottawa Senators, Kirby Dach, center, Saskatoon, WHL. Dak is one of the fastest risers we sit here on draft day. He is one of the more NHL-ready players other than Hughes and Kakko. He excels on offense with his instincts and his vision. 5, Los Angeles Kings, Bowen Byram, defenseman, Vancouver, WHL. The Kings have options here. They need defense the most, so they take somebody that could be a top pairing D-man and obviously the best defenseman in the draft. 6, Detroit Red Wings, Vasily Podkolzin, right wing, St. Petersburg, KHL. Podkolzin was outstanding in the World Junior, but wasn't putting up the stats in Russia. Podkolzin, somebody that can slip out of the top 10 because of contract concerns. 7, Buffalo Sabres, Dylan Cousins, center, Lethbridge, WHL. Cousins is somebody that I think should be a top 5 pick, but I think he'll drop. He has a lot of potential, and he's dynamic, and he would be a good number 2 center behind Jack Eichel down the road. 8, Edmonton Oilers, Trevor Zergas, forward, USNDT. Zergas is somebody whose stock is rising because of his versatility and has smart vision. He's a good two-way guy. 9, Anaheim Ducks, Matthew Boldy, right wing, USNDT. Boldy's yet another USNDT player taken in the lottery. He has a ton of size and scores the puck from both sides of the wing well. 10, Vancouver Canucks, Cole Caulfield, forward, USNDT. The Canucks can go in a bunch of different directions here. Caulfield's somebody who is on the rise too, and he provides a lot of versatility. 11, Philadelphia Flyers, Peyton Curbs, left wing, Kootenay, WHL. Curbs is someone that is a dynamic offensive force like some of the other wingers in the top of the draft. He's fast and has a good hockey IQ, which the Flyers would like. 12, Minnesota Wild, Alex Newhook, center, Victoria, BCHL. Newhook is someone that's been up and down draft boards of late, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was a lottery pick or if he almost fell out of the first round. He's a big offensive force and has blazing speed. 13, Florida Panthers, Spencer Knight, goalie, USNDT. There hasn't been a goalie with this fire and intensity like Knight in a while. The Panthers are a team that is very likely to spend money on the goaltender, probably Sergei Bobrovsky, but I could see them doing that on the 4-year deal and still drafting Knight to be the goalie of the long-term future. 14, Arizona Coyotes, Arthur Kaliev, left wing, Hamilton, OHL. Kaliev is somebody that can flat out score. Some people have concerns with his two-way game, or else he'd be a top 10 pick, or maybe top 5. 15, Montreal Canadiens, Philip Broberg, defenseman, AIK, Sweden. The Canadiens could go a number of different directions with the pick. Broberg is somebody that is a good offensive defenseman and has good vision as well as controls the game well in all zones. 16, Colorado Avalanche, Victor Sodstrom, defenseman, Brina, super elite. The Avs go defense here as they take Sodstrom to a defense that already has talent. He's somebody that is a smarter player that could be great offensively and reliable defensively. 17, Vegas Golden Knights, Maurice Cedar, defenseman, Adler, SCL. The Golden Knights have options here at this pick, and they'll take the D-men, knowing that they'll possibly trade one of theirs on their current roster. Cedar is somebody that has a great two-way defenseman and is a force to be reckoned with. 18, Dallas Stars, Ryan Suzuki, center, Barrie, OHL. The younger brother of former Knights first rounder Kurt Ryan may end up being the better prospect. He's a great skater and good vision for the game as well as great playmaking skills. 19 Ottawa Senators from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Raphael Lavoie, forward, Halifax, OHL. Lavoie is somebody whose draft stock is rising. Could be an immediate contributor for the Senators. He's physical, but somebody that has speed and can fire a heavy shot. 20 Winnipeg Jets. Thomas Harley, defenseman, Mississauga, OHL. Harley is somebody that is an excellent two-way player and is a steal at this pick. He's someone that the Senators could have on their top pair down the road. 21 Pittsburgh Penguins. Cam York, defenseman, USNDT. The USNDT dominance continues as the Pens take York. He's somebody that could be a top 4 D-man on someone's roster, and he's somebody that has lottery talent. If he pans out, the Pens found themselves a player. 22 Los Angeles Kings from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Phil Tomasino, forward, Niagara, OHL. Tomasino is somebody that is versatile and has a knack of playing with a speed and making plays, and is somebody that the Kings would like. 23 New York Islanders. Matthew Robertson, defenseman, Edmonton, OHL. Robertson is someone that provided very good two-way play this past season. He seems like someone that Lou Lamoriello and the Islanders would take a chance on. 24 Nashville Predators. Samuel Poulin, left wing, Sherbrooke, QMJHL. Poulin is somebody that could fall out of the first round. He is a good power forward prospect. 25 Washington Capitals. Igor Afanasyev, left wing, Megaskoon, USHL. He is somebody that is a really good power forward and could add strength and skill to an already lethal power play in Washington. 26 Calgary Flames. Connor McMichael, center, London, OHL. McMichael, someone that stood out on the London Knights, that was a team full of scorers, and he's somebody that is very crafty. 27 Tampa Bay Lightning. V.A. Hinola, defenseman, Luco, SM Legia. Hinola is somebody that is very good at attacking and making odd-man situations. People compare him to Rasmus Dahlin. 28 Carolina Hurricanes. Tobias Bjornfoot, defenseman, Djurgården, super elite. Bjornfoot is one of the fastest risers with the draft being today. He's fluid and has a quick release. 29 Anaheim Ducks from the San Jose Sharks via Buffalo Sabres. Lassie Thompson, defenseman, Kinola, WHL. The Ducks go with defense here at the second first rounder. He's somebody that has the upside of being a top 4 pairing guy. 30 Boston Bruins. Brett Leeson, forward, Prince Albert, WHL. Leeson is somebody that went undrafted a year ago and improved his game to the point where he could be a first rounder tonight. He can flat out score and has a good size and plays a power game. 31 Buffalo Sabres from the St. Louis Blues. Jacob Patellier, forward, Moncatoon, QMJHL. The Sabres take the versatile forward here with their second first rounder. He's somebody that has great tenacity and skill as well as generating chances off the forecheck. Now, best bet of the night brought to you by FanDuel. We have a couple games to choose from. We have the World Cup as well. So we're going to start in baseball. We are going to go with the Philadelphia Phillies, although they're a huge favorite. Trevor Bauer and the Indians. Chris Sale and the Sox, although they're very big favorites tonight. We'll go with the Mariners because the Orioles are so bad. We'll go with Walker Buehler and the Dodgers, and then we'll go with, in World Cup, tomorrow afternoon, we'll go with Germany. So that's 6. We'll wager $1. Payout of $6.98. So that's it for the podcast tonight. I'll be back on Monday. I'm going to do 2 podcasts on Monday. My regular one, and then we'll analyze the NHL draft on another one. And then I have to do my NBA draft team grades as well on a separate podcast. So very busy week ahead for me with the podcasts next week. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, everybody.